Happy Friday, Juventini. It is March 24th. I'm Alberto. Welcome back to the channel. I have all this morning's news surfacing around Juventus. We're going to take a look at the latest around Frattesi and him potentially joining Juventus. We'll take a look at those latest rumors. Then we're going to talk about the young guns and what's going to happen second half of the season with Iling Jr. and Soulé. And then Federico Chiesa wants another opinion on his knee, so he is traveling. We'll take a look at that. And then the latest on Sandro's renewal. Let's get into it. All right, everybody, first and foremost, if you enjoy the content, please hit that like button and, of course, subscribe to the channel. All right, now let's get into it. So yesterday we heard about the reports. I had a lovely live session with my friend Andrea from Juventus Official Fan Club of San Diego. We talked about the Dybala rumors and whatnot, saying that he wants not only his $3 million owned, but the failure to get any better deal after reaching a pre-agreement deal with Juventus, looking for somewhere around 50 million euros. And then Dybala potentially in damage control mode or whatnot, regardless of how you want to see it, comes out and states it's only the $3 million he is looking to be owed. He wants to keep everything out of the courts and doesn't want Juventus mentioned or anything like that. Oh, it's a little bit late for that, Paulito, okay? But anyways, apparently it's just the $3 million salary owned. What's interesting about all these salary reports, as today the rumors surface again about Cristiano Ronaldo and what he's looking at, and a figure around 19 million euros. As you start to think about this, there is a current case that Juventus is facing with regards to this salary maneuver and paying players after stating that they had not. Do we not think that this is probably on purpose from Juventus to leave it in this manner as some type of protection and leverage in the case that they're facing? That's how I'm seeing it. But again, we are a long way from finding out what's going to go down in this salary maneuver case. But these are the latest reports. So it's just salary that these guys are still looking for. Ronaldo somewhere around 19 million. Dybala around 3 million. Whether or not more players are involved and whatnot, we will have to just wait and see. But for the longest time, a few months now, several months, it's just been those two players. We will wait and see. Frattesi, the latest on him is that Juventus is definitely not out of the picture, okay? And if Rabiot leaves, this is the guy, this is one of the main names. This is what's being reported today. And again, we might have Romeo Agresti with us next week, and then we can ask him all these to get some more idea from the big gun, all right? But as far as Frattesi goes, the rumors are Sassuolo's looking for around 30 million euros, and Juventus is very much in the mix, despite there being a lot of interest in the player, all right? So that's the latest on Frattesi. Chiesa, despite being ruled an injury out, so no injury by J Medical, is going to be traveling as he has concerns with his knee. He is going to be traveling to Austria, right, and getting a second opinion. So we will obviously be all eyes and ears on any reports and whatnot that's coming out of Federico Chiesa's status, all right? And again, reiterate in more reports today that he is a player that the future doesn't matter. All the uncertainty matters not. His future is the one that you can single-handedly rule out as not being in doubt, despite the uncertainties and whatnot. He has pledged his allegiance to Juventus, all right? So wishing him the best, and let's hope for the best on this second opinion coming out of Austria. Now, Iling Jr. has impressed and turned some heads, obviously, in his U21 performance, bagging a brace, and they're said to be English sides that are going to be coming after the talent. What's Max going to do with him in the second half of the season? Because the whole time, even after those brief cameos earlier on in the season, he looked like a player that could definitely warrant more minutes. The situation that makes it difficult is that he is playing in behind Filip Kostic, who has been absolutely crucial for Juventus. So could we perhaps see a bit of a switch from Max in order to get this guy some minutes? Well, Di Maria is said to be preserved through the second half of the season for big games. playing and then potentially resting or whatnot. Could this open the door for Soulé? We just finished talking about Chiesa getting another opinion on his knee and whatnot. Obviously still having some issues, not just physically, but even mentally with him trusting his body. Could this open the doors Iling Jr. playing as that second forward potentially? Or just stick him on the right wing, not as a right wing back, but play him as a second forward, but move him over to that flank. And then you would have Kostic essentially making up the left side and Iling Jr. being able to cut in from the right. What do you think about that, Juventus? Let me know in the comment section. But Soulé is another young player looking to get minutes. And today the reports say that Juventus, and again, we take this from Corriere Torino, okay, so take it with a grain of salt. Take all the news here with a grain of salt. But Soulé wanted to stay and fought back from a loan from Juventus. The reports today suggest that Juventus does have some doubts for him, would like to see him go out on loan and whatnot. And the fact that Soulé hasn't and is trying to get in, but he's been unconvincing, according to these reports, to Juventus is creating a problem because he's not necessarily going to want to go back to next gen and he doesn't want to loan somewhere else in Italy, all right? Him being essentially going to qualify as a homegrown player this season, we might potentially be losing a homegrown player, okay? So homegrown player, essentially 3 years you must have played or have trained in a club or another's, so you could go on loan to another club in the same national association and play there, right? So 3 years. He hits that this season, but if they can't find an agreement or something that works, he doesn't want to go on loan somewhere else, and he doesn't want to go back to Juve next gen, we could potentially be losing this homegrown player. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Soulé through the second half. He is another player like Iling Jr. that could see an increase in minutes, but Iling Jr. is more difficult to find than Soulé because Soulé has found himself a spot as that second forward, and with Di Maria trying to be preserved and Chiesa still not 100%, it does open the door for these young guys. It'll be interesting to see what happens in the second half of the season once we get back after this international break. Sandro, his renewal. The latest is that Juve wants to make it 2 years. That's why they want to renew despite the 10 games for an automatic renewal, because they can then split the €7 million salary he'd be entitled to next season over 2 seasons. All right, so there you have it. That is your news break to today, everybody. You guys know the drill. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, but let me know in the comment section what you think about all the news you heard here today, and I can't wait to mix it up with all of you. Until tomorrow's update, as always, fino alla fine, forza Juve, ciao tutti.